Life is good. Yeah. Why are you saying it like that? I'm having a very big, like, suspicion that something bad is gonna happen now. Like, setting up the stakes very high the only reason why you're doing that is just so that they can come crashing down even harder than normal. It's been a few days since Mom and Yuri met in person. I've been on cloud 9 ever since. It's amazing how happiness and bliss can literally transport you to another world. And with the ringing of the bell signaling the end of the final lesson of the day, I eagerly jumped to my feet. White day is upon us, and I've wanted to give Yuri my gift ever since I woke up. Oh, is it finally that shit that I bought together with Sayori and Natsuki when we were in the bookstore? Because that has been fucking laying somewhere in my room forever now. I make my way over to Yuri's classroom after I take out my gift. It's not quite as fancy as the chocolates she gave me, but I'm hoping she'll appreciate the thought of all the same. Eventually I spot her in the throng of students emerging from her classroom. With a smile and a wave, she makes her way over to me. Reaching out, I gently clasp her hand in mine, which predictably causes her to blush, given its white... I still don't know what white day is, by the way. I had never actually researched what it meant. Given it's white day, I'm feeling a little more daring. I've waited all day to give you these. Practically bouncing on my feet, she giggles slightly, covering her mouth with her hands. My, someone is rather excited. She takes the gift back from my hands. Her smile grows wider and more heartfelt. I didn't want to give these to you at lunch. Kinda felt like the reward would be better if I waited until the end of the day, you know? Ah, well, they do say that good things come to those who wait. Oh my, Mark, this looks incredible. Inside is the white day cake oh no, it's not. But where is that fucking, like parchment paper that I bought for her and shit? I never got back to her on that. It was super expensive, at least the game said that it was super expensive, and I paid for it together with Sayori. Well, Sayori didn't pay for it, but Sayori was buying that new workbook at the time. But, you know, and I never ever fucking gave it to her, or at least I don't remember. The cake was Mom's idea, and given its elegant design, I was definitely not complaining. She was convinced that Yuri would love it, and based on Yuri's reaction, it's safe to say that motherly instincts are pretty accurate. Thank you, I really appreciate this. But you didn't have to get this for me, silly. Not that I don't appreciate your gift. Oh, I know you. Oh no, I didn't have to. But I wanted to. I lean forward and plant a kiss directly on her lips. Her eyes widen as I quickly pull away, grinning. Exclamation point. You do know how to fluster me, don't you? That I do. Happy white day, Yuri. I still don't know what it means. The red blush on Yuri's cheeks made the wait 100% worth it. Come on, exam revision can wait for one evening. Spend the rest of the day with me? How could I say no? After swinging the door open, I call out for Mom. Moom! No reply. Huh? Is she out? There's a note here, Mark. It says she's gone to town to see some friends. She'll be back later in the evening, and that you should call her if there's anything we need. So we're home alone? Yes, it would seem that way. What should we do? Well, she starts fidgeting. Why has it suddenly got really awkward? Oh. I really need to think about things before I speak. I didn't mean... It's okay. Would you like to make a bento box with me? If I recall, you seemed to really enjoy my bento when we shared with Natsuki. Relieved at the topic change, I eagerly jump at her suggestion. Yeah, sounds good. Mom did a lot of food shopping yesterday, and she's made bento boxes before, so I'm fairly sure she'll have the ingredients. What are you thinking of putting in it? We should decide that once we see what ingredients we have at our disposal. Oh yeah, good point. We start rummaging through the cabinets. Well, more like I rummage. Yuri looks a little hesitant. Clearly unsure if it's her place to be rifling through my kitchen. Do you have anything in mind? Mine are usually quite simple. Rice or noodles, some kind of protein and cooked vegetables. Standard home cooked affair, you know? But given that it's White's Day... I keep thinking it's White's Day, but it's White Day. There's no S there. Given that it's White Day, I almost did it again. How about we cook something a bit more extravagant for it? What are you thinking? Do you know how to make sushi? No, but I'm willing to try for the end result. Yeah, alright then. You could make some other side dishes using vegetables like soybeans too. For the sushi itself, fish would do nicely. Isn't it? That's kind of the whole point of sushi, isn't it? But if you don't have any, we make do with an alternative. I duck my head out of the fridge and turned to Yuri with a bemused expression on my face. You can look with me, you know? It's your house as much as it's mine. Right. Of course. With her help, we're quickly able to identify appropriate ingredients and soon begin preparing the meal. Okay, so after you finish chopping all that, you add it to the water in the pot and turn up the heat until it's boiling. Then turn it back down to medium. Don't forget to add the seasoning to the water too. And have to chop all of these vegetables, right? Yes, the lotus root, carrots, white radish and mushrooms. Obviously, you don't have to chop the soybeans and kombu. Got it. In the meantime, I'll get started on the rice. We both get to work, and soon the smells of a delicious meal starts wafting through the kitchen. Thankfully, the meal isn't particularly difficult to prepare, so we're able to talk about other things while we're preparing it. I don't think Mom would believe her eyes if she saw what I was doing right now. The cooking. Yeah, but not just that. I don't think she'd ever expected that my first girlfriend would have taught me how to make delicious meals like this, haha. First girlfriend? Oh. Sorry, I didn't mean it like... way to go, Mark. The silence is proving to be excruciatingly awkward. It was just a stupid choice of words. Anyway, I guess it's a pleasant surprise for her. I've always been a lazy cook. If you could even call me a cook. Well, there's no better time to learn than the present. Another wise bit of insight from you. She smiles slightly, but I can tell that what I just said is still playing on her mind. Did I really mess up that badly? I wasn't trying to say that we wouldn't last. Either way, I'm really not a fan of how quiet she suddenly became. But hey, at least Mom really likes you at least. At least twice. Do you think your parents would have liked me? Mark, would you mind spooning the cooked rice into a bowl? Sure thing. I do as she requests, awaiting her next command. Next you want to stir together the rice vinegar and sugar until they dissolve, then mix it into the cooked rice. And done! Okay, now I'll deal with the nori sheet. She starts with sushi preparations, delicacy and precision in every movement. Yes, I certainly think they would have approved of you, Mark. Although I think they may have been a little surprised, no doubt expecting my boyfriend to be more of a reader, at least before we started dating. I remember my father used to joke that boys may break your heart, but books will always be there for you. The little quip always makes me smile. Is that the kind of humor you like? Neither of my parents were sarcastic, so sarcasm is, well, quickly lost on me, as I'm sure you've noticed. Surprised you're dating me then. You know how snarky I can be. Funnily enough, it's actually one of the things I appreciate about you the most. Really? But you said you don't really get sarcasm. I didn't, at least initially, but being around you has given me more of an insight onto a new style of humor which I enjoy. Much like with literature, there's a variety in humor. If you have a knack for making me laugh, don't forget. I'm glad that my comedy genius has finally been recognized. See what I mean? Anyway, I think we're ready to mix the mackerel with the mayonnaise and spring onion. We're gonna use black pepper for seasoning, right? Yes, we are. You're learning quickly. Happens when you learn from the best. I swiftly plant another kiss on Yuri's forehead. I don't know why I'm feeling especially affectionate today. Must be White Day, but damn, this is enjoyable. An hour or so later, we're both digging into our meal. It's a shame Mom wasn't around to see us making a dish together. Maybe then she'd believe me. Is it just me, or does food taste a lot better when you've made it yourself? Most definitely. It's something you've come to appreciate. Maybe I could teach Sayori one day. Her diet is probably worse than mine. Triple dot. Speaking of Sayori, what did you two get up to? On that one day where we hung out? Yuri nods. We went down memory lane, I guess. Both literally and figuratively. We went to the park where we first met. He never mentioned that. He never said that was the park where we first met. That was just some place where we had good memories. You're making up the story now yourself, mister. Talked about life, I guess. I'm glad I got to apologize to her, though. That guilt has been hanging over me for some time. I assume she was rather forgiving? Oh yeah, of course. She told me not to worry about abandoning her, and it's a given that I'd spend more time with you. She was happy that I'm back in her life and she gets to see me in school and stuff. Hearing her words helped, but I don't know, I still feel a little guilty. That's completely normal, Mark. The most important thing is to remember that she doesn't hold anything against you, and that you two are still good friends. There's plenty of time to be able to spend time with her again. After all, you both enjoyed each other's company, did you not? Yeah, we did. Even though our friendship isn't exactly the same as how it used to be, we were still able to get along like nothing had really happened. The playful teasing, the shared nostalgia. She really makes you happy, doesn't she? I nod. I don't think I'll ever meet anyone with such a strong, carefree, bubbly persona. You always do look exuberant around her. Huh? Do I? Yes, you do. Perhaps it's buried in your subconscious. Well, I guess I do have fun hanging out with her. It's nice to be around someone who doesn't take things that seriously. Oh, that's a bit of a mean thing to say, but you're right there, but okay. Like, I can just chill with her and joke about random stuff. She's gotten really good at being able to cheer me up, too. I see. I mean, how can someone who's always smiling not cheer you up? Probably activates minor neurons or something, the way Sayori's laugh can be so infectious. You get what I mean? Yeah. Where's this sudden dramatic tension coming from? Well, maybe because you're being a bit weird. Yuri, is everything okay? You seem kinda off. Like, you're usually quite in tune with others' feelings, but sometimes it can be extremely dense. Geez, I never claimed that I could read people's minds. Anyway, what's with the sudden change in tone? I thought we were having a great time cooking. You always grin so broadly when you're with Sayori. Is she even listening to me? Like I said before, if I do, I don't notice it. Well, even if you don't notice yourself, other people can. If you contrast it with how you act around me, there's a marked difference. A marked difference? Well, off the top of my head, I kiss and cuddle with you. That's something I shouldn't be doing with other people, right? We tried to pull Yuri into a hug, but she shies away from me. Yuri? You don't know what I'm talking about, do you? I suppose it's so ingrained in you that you won't notice unless I outright say it. Unless I outright said it. If I'm supposedly this dense, feel free to enlighten me on the matter. Not that I shouldn't be getting sarcastic with her, but I can't help but feeling more and more irritated as this conversation continues. You always look your happiest when you're with Sayori, even when you just talk about her or think about your past with her. Well, I don't know about happiest, but she's my childhood friend. It's natural to feel happy when I think about someone I've known for years and years, isn't it? It's just as I suspected. Huh? She makes you happier than I do, doesn't she? My mind is spinning. How did we get from making food together and sharing kisses to this? Yuri, we spoke about this. Where is this coming from? She doesn't reply, instead opting to fiddle with her sleeves. Come on, Yuri, talk to me. If we spoke about this before, then why don't you understand why I'm upset? Just because you know why you're upset doesn't mean that I know. What? Just because you know why you're upset doesn't mean that I know. Can't you just tell me what's wrong? I don't understand how he can analyze books so extensively but remain blind when it comes to things like this. I really don't want to play the blame game, but... Look, I think I get you might be feeling jealous. I mean, you just explicitly compared yourself to her. But I don't get why you're suddenly this upset when we've been having such a nice time. You realize that you were talking at length about how you feel about Sayori, and on White Day date night, no less. Fucking hell, what a that's a fucking mouthful of words. White Day date night. Fucking hell, that's a tongue twister I've ever seen one. You started the conversation about her though. I was admittedly curious about what you did with her in the beginning, but I didn't mean for it to spawn into an entire conversation of how you felt towards Sayori. Yeah, I noticed that as well, but there was... even though that could be still okay, the way the fucking guy said, the way my character said it all, like, it's really nice to be with someone that's so carefree, you know, that immediately implies... Even though you don't mean it, it immediately implies that you can't have that same it implies that Yuri isn't carefree and that you like don't enjoy it like that with Yuri. Even though if you don't mean it, that's just what you imply it that way when you say it like that. After all, I was only engaging in conversation with you to be polite. I didn't want to just ignore what you said about her. I suppose it was too much to expect you to be more tactful about it. Again, I'm not a mind reader. How am I supposed to know when you're upset when you rarely explicitly express it? Why can't you just tell me things? I'm guessing that you don't have these kinds of arguments with Sayori. Of course not, because I'm not dating her. Are you sure this is about jealousy? I thought you said you weren't jealous of my hanging out with Sayori before. Again, it should be me. Didn't you say that you were only jealous of her personality and our close relationship itself? Yes, I did. Then is there something more that you're upset about? If you have a problem, just tell me. Stop beating around the bush, I'll never get what you want me to say, what you want to say. Do you know how difficult it is for me to tell people how I'm feeling? I spent the past decade or so of my life suppressing my outwardly shown emotion. But you can try, can't you? This is me trying, Mark. I just communicate more subtly. Okay, how about you try communicating unsubtly then? You don't get it. Yeah, well, I'm not really making the situation much better by this argument, but okay. The difficulty I have when speaking about these things is almost as if there's something physically blocking my throat. That's just your own thoughts in your head making you feel that way though, right? Just get it over with and blurt out your inner thoughts, like ripping off a band-aid. I know you can do it, Yuri. With all due respect, Mark, I didn't even tell you about my self-harm of my own accord. It was purely by accident you found out. Even so, it felt better after you talked to me about it, right? Yes, but... So just tell me what's bothering you. I can't help you if I don't know what's going on. She doesn't reply. The sudden, strange silence feels more uncomfortable by the second. Yuri, I sigh inwardly. I hate apologizing for things that aren't my fault. I'm sorry. Oh, I know how you feel. That's not a good thing to say in this situation. I'm sorry, okay? I know how you feel, so... No, you don't. Yeah, exactly. I told you that was a stupid thing to say. No, you don't. How can you possibly know what this feels like, Mark? Do you constantly consider yourself an embarrassment? Do you know how it feels to have people feel nothing but pity towards you? Do you have people see you as a freak? Well, no, but that's precisely my point. Alright. Jeez, I get it. Just because I don't have those specific problems, it doesn't mean that I don't have my own ones to deal with, you know? Everyone around us has their own demons, so stop acting like it's... Oh, fucking hell! Dude! Where is this fucking... Like, what's it called? Where the hell is this entire argument coming from? I wince as soon as the words leave my mouth. Yeah, exactly. They sounded a lot less harsh in my head. How? How did they sound a lot less harsh in my head? The look of deep hurt on Yuri's face prompts me to quickly try and undo the damage that's been unleashed. I rarely rub my forehead with my hands. It's just really frustrating being told that my problems don't matter, you know? That's not what I said. Like, how would you feel if I did this stuff? Refused to talk to you about any negativity I was feeling towards you and well, cut myself. I feel like I deserve it. What, did she really just say that? I expected her to get angry and lash out. Not provide such a self-deprecating remark. Deserve? Let's be honest, Mark. I'm an awful girlfriend. I have to force myself not to roll my eyes or sigh in exasperation. Yuri seizes on my silence and carries on with her deprecative tirade. I hide things from you. You're always doing nice things for me. What thoughtful things have I done for you, Mark? She doesn't even let me answer as she forcefully carries on. You organized a lovely day out for Valentine's Day, and I couldn't even return the favor for White Day. Here we are, acting like it's just another day, all because I couldn't even organize something romantic for us. It's another pathetic trait of mine that I'll never be able to shake, no matter how much I will it away. Her breathing grows faster and faster, and her tone is becoming more and more venomous. The feeling of being unable to reach her while she stands in front of me is unbelievably demoralizing. I'm trying to be the perfect girlfriend for you, I really am. I thought by making love to you that would help. After all, it seems like that's the only thing I can provide you. Wait, what? Back up a second there, Yuri. What exactly do you mean by that? Please don't tell me that you felt like you had to have sex with me. Oh my god, what the hell? She doesn't even need to nod or say yes. The silence is just as damning in confirming my fear. I thought it's what I had to do. You said you wanted to. I wanted to please you. I run my hands through my face. I feel like everything that was going so well mere moments ago is suddenly being flipped on its head. Yeah, that's... No, Yuri! You don't have to be perfect. Why didn't you just say something? If you weren't comfortable, that's all you had to say. But of course, it isn't easy for her, is it? I'm sorry. I know I should have said something. You don't know what to say. My mind is still trying to process what I'm hearing. Things really haven't been going as well as I thought they were. With my face in my hands, I hear Yuri get up and walk away from me. Wait, where are you going? I need the bathroom. Oh god, crazy eyes. Instantly, my mind flashes back to the last time I saw her in the bathroom. The razor, the grasp of pain, the vicious jagged cuts on her forearms. The very arm that she's clutching right now. Yuri! Don't! I can't help it! Yuri runs from the room. I'm already starting to push up her sleeves. Oh fucking shit. No, look, it's healing and actually fucking healing and stuff. Holy shit. In a panic, I follow her. Even just from the glimpses I catch from behind her, I'm afforded a sight I wish I didn't have to see. A crisscross of gashes, each in different state of healing. Although most look scabbed over, a few smaller ones look a little more fresh, as I can just make out little specks of blood leaking from the wounds. It's heartbreaking to see. I grab her shoulder when I catch up to her and stop her in her tracks. To my surprise, Yuri begins scratching at her wrist. An action which catches me off guard, as I was expecting her to pull out a blade of some sort. This is the first time I've actually seen her in the act, and it's a sight I'm like nothing I've ever seen before. She positively rips and tears at her arm, raking her nails down her skin and leaving angry red streaks in their wake. Dark red dots of blood spot her scratch marks. Yeah, the raw, visceral nature of her desperate scratching frightens me. It's almost as though she's trying to destroy all the progress she's put into healing just to leave ugly reminders of her flaws behind. Ugly. It's the first time I've associated that word with Yuri. But no amount of bleating that her scars are beautiful would change the fact that they're frankly the opposite. Yeah, I never said that. That's why I didn't fucking pick that option, because that was by far the most horrible that was the easiest choice I've had to make so far in this entire game. Like, you're beautiful or your scars are beautiful. That was so fucking easy. Of course I'm gonna say you're beautiful. Your scars are beautiful is by far the worst thing to say. At least in this context. I mean, in a different context that may be the perfectly right thing to say. But in this context, that was by far the worst thing to say. And I'm so glad that I didn't. I'm struck by a pang of guilt at that though. Should I be thinking about self-harm like this? But I shouldn't act like I'm blind to the scars, right? Either way, that's all irrelevant in the moment. I've got to concentrate on Yuri. What are you doing? She doesn't reply, instead opting to tear away scabs with her fingernails. Yuri! What? What are you doing? Yeah, that's a bit of a stupid thing to ask. What do you think I'm doing? There's a sharp, biting edge in her tone. Did you think cutting was the only way I could self-harm? Yeah? Yuri, please! Please just stop! In desperation, I reach out to grab her arm. However, she quickly wrenches it out of my grip and jumps aside. Her scratching continues more furiously than ever. All of my instincts are screaming at me to intervene, but every time I step towards her, she shies away. As the scratching carries on, the expression of her face slowly grows more relaxed. It's awful knowing that the only thing causing her to relax is the pain she's inflicting onto herself. Eventually, the scratching comes to an end. The slow trickle of blood down her wrist matches the slow trickle of tears down her face. My brain is trying to process what I've just witnessed. That I've just witnessed Yuri self-harming. Needless to say, it's not doing a very good job. Silence falls between us. What am I even meant to say? I told you I was a freak. You have to get some help for this, Yuri. This really can't carry on. Yuri snorts at my statement. What? Do you think I don't know that it's bad? If you know it, then why do you keep doing... Oh, fucking hell, this guy's not saying any of the right words! Like, most of the time in this game, this guy has said, like, perfectly what I would say in the situation, but he's saying so many fucking horrible things in this episode. Is this going to happen every time we have an argument? I can't help but feel anger as those two words resound through my head. Why not? Oh, what? Huh? Oh, I can't, yeah. Why not? How would you even know? You haven't even oh, fucking shit, Mom. What the fuck, you haven't even tried? I'm fucking 100% sure she's tried. She just said that she tried. This could have been avoided if I just what, Mark? Therapy isn't just some magical fairy tale fix. I already told you that it's just not that easy for me. Yet you seem to continually forget that in your self-righteous lectures. Lectures? Really, that's what you think these are? I mean, how would you like it if I cut and scratched myself bloody? How would you like it if I turned my arms into an ugly mess? Silence. Didn't even realize I was breathing heavily until now. And worst of all, the distressed look on Yuri's face tells me that for the first time tonight, I might have just crossed the line. Breathlessly, she quickly yanks her sleeve down and pushes past me. With heartbreaking realization, I quickly see that fresh tears are now leaking down her face once more. Yuri! I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I desperately reach out for her once again, but she rolls around at my touch, wearing an expression that honestly terrifies me. I don't want to hear it! Her expression, the line, the delivery, the tone. Out of reflex, I shrink back. She storms out the corridor. Distantly, I can hear her making her way out of my house. The slam of the door makes me wince. And so I'm left standing there, still trying to figure out what just happened. Slowly I make my way to the kitchen. Bits and pieces of our argument flashing through our minds. The flood is still on the table. If you just walked onto the house, you would have never suspected that such a scene had taken place just moments before. What looked like a warm, delicious food before now appears slimy and cold to me. As I slump down in a chair, I can't help but worry about what Yuri is going to do when she gets back home. I should have gone after her. I should have done anything but let her go. Well, I say that, but in reality I know that I couldn't have done much. What was I supposed to do? Imprison her in my house? Physically restrain her until her impulses abated? If I had done that, I don't know how she would have ever forgive me. I don't want to out her. What? I don't want to out her to anyone else without her permission, so I don't think I should tell one of our friends or my mom. Would calling the police be an overreaction? If she was contemplating suicide, I would call, but didn't she say long ago that she specifically wasn't suicidal? Should I trust her words and leave her be? We just established that she doesn't necessarily tell me everything, though. That doesn't mean she'd lie to me, though, right? With a sudden rush of adrenaline, whip out my phone and call Yuri. Please pick up. The Dalton seems to mock me as it endlessly rings. No answer. Shit! I try again and again and again, but there's still no answer. Feeling a pit of despair settling in my stomach, I opt to leave a pleading voicemail in the end. Yeah, well, it's the only thing you can do, to be honest. Well, it was foolish to expect a reply, wasn't it? Unable to bear the sight of our white day dinner any longer, I stumble into the living room and slump down onto the sofa. Why the hell is like not really Natsuki, but kind of Natsuki on TV with a fucking black bar over her eyes? Although I know full well that it's a pointless endeavor, I still reach for the TV remote and flick the television on, desperate for something to try and take my mind off tonight's events. I can almost sense the restless night coming up. God damn it! Just when I thought my life was getting good. I really went and jinxed it, didn't I? I just hope Yuri and I can talk things over soon. Oh shit, I'm not even allowed to like say it to... Oh, fucking hell. What the fuck? This guy's been saying like a lot of the right things all the time. Like all the dialogue, I mostly like 100% agree with all the dialogue that I saw. And then during that one night, the guy just manages to fucking toss in all the incorrect choices to make all at once. He just fucking rapid fires them all at Yuri. Like, what the fuck? There's so many things that I wouldn't have said in that situation. What the fuck? I mean, it all started with how he spoke about his time with Sayori. I mean, yes, it's okay to talk about Sayori that way because in theory, Yuri should be able to understand that it's just a friendship and I would not betray her in like cheat on her or whatever. That's 100% true. But the way the fucking character in the game talked about that, how he analyzed it and how he fucking mentioned it and all that was just like. Even if you talk about even if Yuri wasn't had such low self-esteem and all that type of stuff, I wouldn't say those like all that type of stuff because the way the fucking guy worded it sounded like I could only get my certain amounts of satisfaction from Sayori and not from Yuri. Just the way he worded everything was fucking awful. And then when the arguments happened, fucking he made everything worse. And then he fucking managed to say everything. All of it was wrong. All of it was wrong. All the things I can remember, at least from all that argument, was all wrong. At least for my part. What the fuck? Like, how the hell can you even how the hell can you carry conversation through the entire game? Perfectly fine, you know, I have to make some choices, but like the conversation that I don't have any control over, pretty much all of those conversations were like 100% like I agree with what's been said here and all that type of stuff, and then all of the things that I don't agree with, all of them combined and then mashed them into a cannonball and then fired at a Yuri straight away. How the hell does that even fucking happen? Like, is there like a limit? Like every fucking good reply, there needs to be like a sort of like negative reply in that counteracts it, and then all of a sudden I build it all up, and then instead of like it happening over and over, like one time a good reply, one time a bad reply, I just collect all the bad replies in existence, and then if I have to unleash them at one point in my life or something, like what the fuck? Fucking hell. Okay, well, also I'm very surprised that he wasn't aware that Yuri could harm herself by scratching, because I'm pretty sure that she did that during that day when we found out about her self-harming thing, because I'm pretty sure she was scratching her arm at that point, like later in the day or the next day or something like that, and we stopped her from doing it. So I'm very surprised that the guy is surprised that she's able to do that, because I believe we saw that. And even if we didn't see that, I'm pretty sure that, like, if you think a bit logically, you can come to that conclusion that that's also a possibility. fucking hell. I mean, I was in the... Yeah, what the fuck. Yeah, I'm probably going to cut this episode in two, just because I want to keep the cheerful part with Sayori so separate from all of this. But... Yeah, it's just like fucking hell. I also want to have a good time with Sayori, but you can't really do that when all of this comes from it. When the fucking guy replies like that. I mean, we could perfectly have a good relationship with Yuri and Sayori, but when the guy says stupid shit like that all the time, then then it's impossible. Yeah. I mean, you know that Yuri has low self-esteem. You know that Yuri, like, unrightfully sees herself as a bad person. You know that she thinks that everyone hates her. And you know that she sometimes thinks that she's not good enough for me. She has said that. Like, she has mentioned that a couple times, and like, which was extremely fucking difficult for her. And then you go ahead and fucking reply to her like that, and also in that argument say shit like that? Like, ugh. Fucking hell. The only thing that really, like, besides all the fact that my character dialogue was rubbish, the fact that really shocked me the most was the part that when we had sex with Yuri on Valentine's Day, apparently she only did that just because she felt like she needed to. That was a real shock for me. When she said that it was consensual, but she just thought that she needed to do that. She didn't really want to do it on her own accord. She just felt like she had to. Which, again, yeah, she should have said, but we all know that she probably, like, that's extremely difficult for her, but... Although it all felt super amazing, like cuddling afterwards and waking up together and all that type of stuff. I guess that made her feel better as well, just the cuddling and waking up together and stuff, but, you know, that whole thing, like, that she felt like she needed to do that just because, you know, she has, like, she feels like she's a horrible, because that's she's mentioned it a couple times already. She feels like she's a horrible person. She feels like she's not a good girlfriend. She feels like she doesn't deserve anyone as kind as how I'm treating her. She, like, all that type of stuff. And then she feels, because of all of that, she feels like, oh, I'm not doing enough for me in this case, but I should let him have sex with me, and that's the only thing that I can do. Like, that's so incredibly sad that she, like, had to force herself in her mind had to force herself to do that because she thought that was the only positive thing that she could do, which is of course not true at all. But that's just how her mind sees the reality of things, which of course is a flawed image, but that's how she sees it. But that really fucking shocked me when I saw that when she kind of, like, admitted that. And again, as I said, the fact that all my dialogue was rubbish in this entire fucking episode. Alright, anyway. Oh god. I really hope that... But I also really hope is that Sayori doesn't really get, like, air of this, if that's the correct phrase, because then she's gonna think that she is causing all of this, which of course isn't true. The only reason why this was caused was because my character was not careful with his fucking stupid words for one episode. And he wasn't just a little bit careless with the words, he was the biggest careless motherfucker in human existence in the episode. That's what he was. And it had nothing to do with Sayori. It was just because my guy was an idiot in fucking explaining to Yuri what we did on that day. And he said it in stupid ways. And then when she got upset about it, I made it worse by replying in stupid ways. And then during the argument, I made it worse. And then, you know, it was just fucking the dialogue of the fucking idiots over here that made everything worse. Oh, fucking hell. Like, yeah, even what would you do? Like, yeah. Well, first of all, as I said, if it was actually me, and we got into the not that we didn't get into the argument we first of all wouldn't have gotten into the argument in the first place because I would have chosen my words a lot more carefully around her. That's first of all. And second of all, if we actually did manage to get into that argument in some way or another, like what the guy said during the argument, I would have completely done differently as well. Because he said so many stupid things and weird things and also pretty hurtful things as well. I mean, yeah, like, you say hurtful things when you're angry, but I wasn't angry at this point. It was just like, I was still shocked, like, that Yuri was... I was mostly shocked at the words of my character, but like... fucking hell. Yeah, well, anyway, I think I've said enough about this. Anyway, I hope everyone has enjoyed the video somehow. Click the like button if you did. Subscribe to join the Roman army. And let's see if we can fix this in the next episode. See you later, Romans. Valete.